Genoa city erupts as arrests, betrayals, and memory loss shake everyone. Chaos takes over Genoa city on the young and the restless as Christine takes dramatic action against Kane and Phyllis, sending shockwaves through town. Billy delivers a dangerous warning that he could betray Phyllis to save himself, while Victor unleashes his fury on Michael over shocking decisions. At the same time, Victoria's ruthless obsession with power threatens to destroy her personal and professional life. Meanwhile, Matt's mysterious memory loss leaves everyone questioning what really happened, creating a tense new mystery that could change everything for the Newman family and beyond. Welcome to A Mysterious Time TV, where the drama unfolds and the stories captivate. Join us as we explore the fascinating world of Young and the Restless, uncovering untold stories and hidden truths behind the headlines. Christine hauls Kane away as Billy threatens to turn on Phyllis. Wednesday's episode of The Young and the Restless delivered major drama as Kane became the latest suspect in the corporate sabotage scandal, putting Malcolm's life-saving bone marrow transplant in jeopardy. At the same time, Billy made it clear he would protect himself at all costs, even if it meant betraying Phyllis and Kane. Holden pushes Claire to join him in New York. At Crimson Lights, Holden was grabbing coffee when Claire arrived. He quickly offered to buy her a drink and invited her to sit down with him. Holden couldn't stop talking about the good news involving Malcolm, especially after learning that Kane was a compatible donor. Holden explained that he planned to travel to New York for the transplant surgery so he could support Malcolm. Claire admitted she had never visited New York before, prompting Holden to jokingly suggest she was hoping for an invitation. Claire teased that they worked surprisingly well as travel companions, but denied fishing for an invite. Holden backed off and claimed he was only kidding. Still, the conversation kept circling back to the possibility of her joining him. Claire noticed Holden seemed calmer about everything involving Malcolm and his family situation. Holden admitted he was still adjusting to the revelation that Malcolm was his biological father, but he was relieved there was finally a plan that might save Malcolm's life. He once again hinted that Claire should travel with him, though she remained hesitant. Holden acknowledged that things between them were still awkward because she didn't fully trust him, and he admitted he had earned that skepticism himself. Claire jokingly wondered if he was trying to manipulate her with reverse psychology. Holden played along and asked whether she would accept his reverse invitation. Their flirtatious back and forth continued as Claire pointed out that Holden probably wouldn't want her around his mother. Holden surprised her by saying his mom actually liked her. The topic shifted toward Holden's anger over his mother's deception. He admitted he was still upset she had hidden the truth and then dumped the revelation on him all at once. Claire asked when he planned to leave for New York. Holden said it could happen as early as the next day because he was eager to spend more time getting to know Malcolm. The conversation later turned toward Lily. Holden explained that he had spent more time with her recently and was surprised by how accepting she had been. In fact, Holden confessed that Lily's kindness almost felt suspicious because he expected much more resistance. Claire related to his feelings by sharing her own struggles integrating into her family. She recalled how her younger sister Katie initially rejected her before eventually warming up to her. Claire admitted that at one point she almost wanted her family to dislike her because she felt like an outsider. That insight resonated deeply with Holden. He acknowledged that Claire perfectly understood what he was feeling about Lily's acceptance. Eventually, Holden once again floated the idea of Claire accompanying him to New York. The pair flirted over whether he would make a good host during the trip, with both clearly enjoying the playful exchange. Then Claire brought up Audra and wondered whether Holden felt a stronger connection with her than with anyone else from his past. Holden cleverly turned the question around, suggesting Claire was only trying to get details about what happened in Los Angeles. Claire denied manipulating him but admitted the idea had crossed her mind. In the end, Holden promised he would finally reveal the full story about Los Angeles, but only if Claire agreed to travel to New York with him. Kane's romantic moment with Lily ends in disaster. Meanwhile, at the Genoa City Athletic Club, Lily sat alone reflecting on her recent interactions with Kane, including the affectionate moment when she kissed him on the cheek. Kane soon joined her carrying a mystery drink he wanted her to sample. Lily hesitated at first, playfully suspicious about what he had mixed together. After finally trying it, she recognized it as the over-the-top drink Kevin used to make for the twins at Crimson Lights, loaded with nearly every flavor imaginable. Kane jokingly demanded praise for his creation, and Lily eventually humored him. The two laughed while reminiscing about the twins always asking for all the flavors. Their mood shifted when the discussion turned to Malcolm's health crisis. Lily admitted she was grateful Malcolm now had hope, though she knew the recovery process would still be difficult. Kane explained he was prepared to leave for surgery the moment doctors gave the go-ahead. Lily revealed she would also be traveling to New York for the procedure, prompting Kane to suggest they fly there together. Lily hesitated, which immediately irritated Kane. The pair bickered lightly as Lily insisted she simply needed time to think about it. Kane tried to charm her by promising to carry her luggage and keep her company during the stressful trip. He even joked about holding her hand if necessary. Eventually, Lily softened and agreed. Kane jokingly flipped the situation around by pretending she had been the one begging to accompany him. Their playful flirting came to an abrupt halt when Christine suddenly entered the club with a police officer. Christine announced that Kane was under arrest for corporate sabotage. The officer instructed Kane to place his hands behind his back, and moments later he was handcuffed in front of Lily. A stunned Kane demanded an explanation. Christine accused him of conspiring with Phyllis to use illegal AI software to infiltrate Newman Enterprises' systems. She immediately warned Kane not to say another word without legal counsel present. Kane insisted he was being framed, arguing that his own company had already suffered devastating damage from AI-related attacks. Christine, however, claimed investigators had uncovered a strong paper trail linking him to the crime. Lily desperately pleaded with Christine, insisting the arrest couldn't happen because Kane needed to travel for Malcolm's surgery. Christine argued that Kane was now considered a flight risk and doubted any judge would permit him to leave the state. Lily panicked while Kane tried to reassure her that he would post bail and still make it to New York in time for the transplant. Just then, Nate walked in and immediately realized something was terribly wrong. Lily confirmed Kane had been arrested and worried the situation could ruin Malcolm's treatment plans. Nate tried calming her down by explaining the bone marrow donation could still potentially happen in Genoa City if necessary. Although Lily appreciated the reassurance, she remained overwhelmed and frightened about Malcolm's future. Billy refuses to be dragged down with Phyllis. Over at Summer's conglomerate, Phyllis was furiously barking orders into her phone. She instructed her PR executive to publicly attack the case against her and insisted the evidence was fabricated. Phyllis warned him not to make her do his job before abruptly ending the call. Billy soon arrived and immediately confronted her over the scandal. He demanded to know whether the incriminating emails were real and criticized her for letting the situation spiral out of control. Phyllis explained that Billy's name appeared in the messages but insisted he never personally sent any of them. Billy strongly denied involvement. Phyllis pointed out that she also denied sending the emails, yet she still got arrested. When Billy asked who was behind the fabricated evidence, Phyllis immediately blamed Victor. Billy admitted that theory made sense, especially after learning Victoria already knew about the emails. According to Billy, Victoria maintained the official story that the emails had been discovered and handed over to prosecutors, but he personally doubted their authenticity. Phyllis suspected Christine had no interest in investigating whether the evidence was fake. Billy asked if she planned to fight the charges. Phyllis made it clear she fully intended to battle the accusations. However, Billy also warned that he had no intention of taking the fall alongside her. Phyllis tried reassuring him by pointing out that nothing directly implicated him. Billy then wondered whether authorities had arrested Kane yet. Phyllis coldly responded that she didn't care what happened to Kane because he was on his own. Although Billy wanted to discuss strategy, Phyllis sarcastically reminded him that he had entered her office insulting her intelligence. Billy eventually apologized and explained why he was so stressed. He revealed he was beginning a new chapter in his life. Sally was pregnant, and they planned to get married. Phyllis offered an awkward congratulations before assuring Billy that Michael was handling her legal defense. Billy immediately expressed doubts because of Michael's long-standing loyalty to Victor. Phyllis insisted Michael was also her friend. Their conversation was interrupted when Michael himself arrived. Michael advised Billy to focus on protecting himself instead of worrying about how he intended to defend Phyllis. Billy responded with a blunt warning. He made it crystal clear that if necessary, he would sacrifice both Phyllis and Kane to save himself from prosecution. Lily begs Christine to help Malcolm. Back at the athletic club lounge, Lily anxiously left Christine a voicemail while Nate voiced concerns about Kane's behavior. Nate argued that Kane constantly created chaos and always seemed to have another hidden agenda. Lily defended Kane by focusing on one thing only: Malcolm needed his bone marrow donation. Nate questioned whether Kane was helping mainly to get closer to Lily again, but Lily insisted she didn't care about his motivations as long as Malcolm survived. Christine soon arrived to speak with them directly. Lily immediately asked what evidence existed against Kane and whether the charges would prevent him from traveling. Christine firmly stated she would never have filed charges without confidence in the case. She believed both Kane and Phyllis worked together to steal from Newman Enterprises. When Christine suggested speaking with Kane's attorney, Amanda Sinclair, Nate clarified that Lily wanted to focus only on Malcolm's medical emergency. Lily then made an emotional plea. She explained Malcolm's illness and revealed Kane was the only compatible donor doctors had found. Lily begged Christine to show compassion and allow Kane to travel under strict supervision if necessary. She proposed alternatives like an ankle monitor or even a police escort, insisting Kane absolutely had to be allowed to complete the bone marrow donation. Sally fears Billy could still be targeted. Later, at Billy and Sally's apartment, Billy poured himself a drink while Sally anxiously asked for updates. Billy explained that Phyllis had already been arrested and confirmed that Kane had now also been taken into custody at the athletic club. Sally admitted she was surprised Billy himself had not been implicated yet. She worried Victor might still come after him eventually. Billy brushed off the concern and claimed Victor was primarily focused on Phyllis and Kane. Still, Sally feared that if Phyllis and Kane failed to prove the evidence was fake, they could easily turn against Billy in order to save themselves. Billy remained confident, insisting the scandal would not destroy their future together. Phyllis demands Michael's loyalty. Back at Summer's conglomerate, Michael questioned why Billy had stopped by earlier. Phyllis explained Billy was panicking about his own exposure in the case. Michael then informed her that Kane had officially been arrested as well. Phyllis immediately shifted into strategy mode and suggested blaming everything on Kane. Michael disagreed and argued they instead needed to focus on creating reasonable doubt surrounding the evidence. Phyllis pushed Michael further by asking whether Victor had privately admitted the emails were fake. Michael carefully avoided giving her a direct answer, insisting the important issue was whether they could prove the evidence had been fabricated. That response frustrated Phyllis, who demanded complete loyalty from him moving forward. Michael bluntly reminded her that the entire situation existed because she stole Victor's company. Phyllis quickly shut him down and warned him never to repeat that accusation again. Next update. Christine arrests Phyllis while Victor explodes at Michael on The Young and the Restless. Tuesday's episode of The Young and the Restless delivered major drama as Phyllis found herself under arrest. Victor lashed out at Michael, and Matt Clark appeared to be alive, but suffering from memory loss. After discussing her latest clash with Victor, Nikki spoke with Nick about the chaos surrounding Matt Clark. Nick revealed that Sienna believed she had killed Matt. Despite that, Nick admitted he still felt uneasy and planned to stay on guard. Their conversation soon turned personal when Nikki confronted Nick about his recent darker behavior. Nick confessed that he had become addicted to opioids after Matt supplied him with fentanyl. Nikki was devastated, blaming herself for missing the warning signs. Nick explained he initially thought he could quit on his own, but quickly realized he couldn't. Drawing from her own battle with alcoholism, Nikki assured him recovery wouldn't be easy and warned him there could be setbacks. Still, she promised not to judge him. Nick remained determined to overcome the addiction. The subject shifted back to Victor. Nick questioned whether Nikki had truly left because of Jack. Nikki felt something inside Victor had changed, while Nick argued that Newman Enterprises was tied too closely to Victor's identity and self-worth. Even so, Nikki admitted she still wasn't ready to forgive her husband, and perhaps never would be. Meanwhile, at Sharon's home, Sienna thanked Noah for helping her after the terrifying confrontation with Matt. When Sharon arrived, Noah encouraged Sienna to tell the full story. Sienna recounted how Matt had told her Noah was dead following the explosion. Terrified and desperate to escape, she said Matt chased her down and attacked her. Flashbacks showed Matt pinning her to the ground and choking her before she grabbed a large rock and struck him. When he moved again, she hit him even harder. Believing he was dead, Sienna checked for a pulse and found none. Convinced she had killed him, she left the scene. Noah declared that Matt was finally gone for good. However, Sharon wasn't convinced. She pointed out that a severe blow could temporarily make a pulse difficult to detect. Sharon asked Sienna for the exact location so Victor's security team could investigate. Sienna hesitated but recalled spotting an old water park structure nearby. Panic set in as she realized Matt might still be alive. Sure enough, Matt was shown alive in a diner, bruised and injured. While searching through his belongings, he discovered a key card from the Genoa City Athletic Club. Confused, he asked the waitress how far away he was from the club. She informed him he was roughly 2,000 miles from Wisconsin. Back in Genoa City, Christine arrived at Phyllis's office with a police officer ready to make an arrest. Phyllis immediately mocked the situation, insisting the evidence against her was fake. Christine refused to back down, maintaining that Phyllis had committed a crime and needed to face consequences. Phyllis taunted Christine, claiming she was too smart to let herself be manipulated this way. Nevertheless, Christine ordered the officer to take Phyllis into custody. As she was escorted away, Phyllis vowed to fight both Christine and Victor every step of the way. Lauren soon interrupted, insisting the evidence had been fabricated and accusing Victor of using Christine to carry out his revenge. Christine argued that she couldn't simply ignore the facts. Lauren promised to contact Michael, though Phyllis doubted he would help her. Later, Lauren confronted Michael at Crimson Lights. Michael irritated his wife by suggesting Phyllis should have simply returned Victor's company. Lauren was furious that Michael appeared to be siding with the Newmans. Although Michael admitted he didn't want to cross Victor, Lauren pleaded with him to defend Phyllis anyway. At the Newman ranch, Nick urged Victor to sit down and repair things with Nikki, but Victor refused to discuss the situation. The tension escalated when Michael arrived and announced he would represent Phyllis in court. Victor was stunned that Michael would defend someone he viewed as an enemy. He warned Michael there would be no turning back if he chose this path. Michael calmly explained that everyone deserved legal representation and that defending clients was part of his principles. Victor exploded in anger, shouting for Michael to take his principles and leave the house for good. Nick looked uncomfortable as Victor officially banished Michael from the ranch. In the aftermath, Lauren and Michael secured Phyllis's release on bail at Summers' conglomerate. Michael admitted the case would be incredibly difficult because proving Victor's evidence was fabricated could expose Phyllis's own wrongdoing in stealing the company. Elsewhere, Sharon warned Noah and Sienna that if Matt truly survived, he would likely come after all of them. She stressed that they needed to be prepared for anything. Back at the ranch, Nick admitted he understood Victor's obsession with reclaiming Newman Enterprises, but he strongly disagreed with using falsified evidence to frame Phyllis. Victor insisted she deserved everything happening to her. Their argument was interrupted when Nikki arrived at the ranch, though she made it clear she was only there to ride horses and had no intention of speaking with Victor. The final twist came at the diner, where the waitress casually reminded Matt that he was still in Las Vegas. Matt looked confused, repeating the word Vegas, as though he had never heard it before. Holding the key card in his hand, he realized he had no memory of who he was or what had happened to him. The episode closed with Michael warning Phyllis that if she refused to surrender the company, Christine would pursue the case aggressively in court, and she would be out for blood once the trial began. Next update. Victoria's ruthless spiral could cost her everything on The Young and the Restless. On The Young and the Restless, Victoria Newman is becoming more and more consumed with reclaiming the Newman empire, and in the process, she's starting to mirror Victor Newman in all the worst ways. Her obsession with earning her father's approval has pushed her into dangerous territory, and she may not realize until it's too late that she's risking every important relationship in her life. Fans have seen this side of Victoria before. Back when she was running Newman Enterprises, she became increasingly ruthless and power-hungry. She forced Nick Newman out of the company, sidelined Nikki Newman, and cleared space for Nate Hastings when the two were romantically involved. Victoria also went after Adam Newman, Sally Spectra, and even Victor himself when it suited her agenda. Now history appears to be repeating itself. Victoria knows Victor launched the original AI attack that destroyed Kane Ashby's company and later targeted Matt Clark's business as well. But after the scheme backfired and the same tactics were used against Newman, Victoria suddenly shifted her stance. Instead of acknowledging Victor started the war, she's supporting his revenge mission against anyone who crossed him. Although it makes sense that Victoria wants the family company restored, the methods she and Victor are using are deeply questionable. Victor has made it clear he wants Phyllis Summers, Kane, and Billy Abbott punished as harshly as possible, and Victoria is standing beside him every step of the way. One of the biggest controversies surrounding Victoria right now involves Jack Abbott. She has repeatedly defended Victor despite his shocking decision to kidnap Jack and trap him on a yacht with Patty Williams. Critics argue Victoria has crossed a serious moral line by minimizing what happened to Jack, who was drugged and violated during the ordeal. Despite all the warning signs, Victoria continues blindly following Victor's lead without considering what she could lose. Her determination to support her father may ultimately destroy the relationships that matter most to her. The first major casualty could be Nate Hastings. Victoria and Nate recently rebuilt their friendship after the devastating deaths of Damian Kane and Cole Howard. Old feelings between them resurfaced, and they were slowly moving toward rekindling their romance. But Victoria's recent actions are already causing problems. Nate has never supported Victor's revenge-driven behavior, and things are about to get far worse. Phyllis has already been arrested, and Kane is next. The problem is that Kane is supposed to travel to New York to donate bone marrow to Malcolm Winters. If Kane is locked up and unable to leave town, Malcolm's life could be in serious danger. Since Malcolm and Lily Winters are family to Nate, he's expected to be horrified when he learns Victoria and Victor's actions may prevent Malcolm from receiving the treatment he desperately needs. Spoilers indicate Nate rushes to comfort Lily after Kane's arrest, and Lily will likely explain that Victor manufactured evidence to frame Kane. Once Nate realizes Victoria helped deliver fake evidence to Christine Williams Romalotti, he may confront her directly. Victoria has already shown a pattern of denying involvement whenever questioned, including during her recent clash with Billy. But Nate may not let her avoid responsibility this time, especially if Malcolm's health deteriorates because of Victor's scheme. Claire Newman may also reach her breaking point with her mother. Holden Novak is expected to inform Claire that Victor and Victoria's actions led to Kane's arrest, preventing him from traveling for Malcolm's donation procedure. Spoilers tease that Claire makes a bold move to support Holden, which could mean confronting both Victoria and Victor. Claire has already warned Victor in the past that she would walk away if his behavior continued. This situation may finally push her over the edge. She could demand the charges against Kane be dropped immediately so he can save Malcolm's life. Victor is unlikely to care what anyone says, but Victoria might be more vulnerable to Claire's disappointment. Claire may even give her mother an ultimatum, refusing to continue enabling the toxic behavior that has consumed the Newman family for years. Nikki Newman is another person who may turn against Victoria. Although Nikki has defended Victor countless times over the years, she seems increasingly disturbed by the lengths he is willing to go. Nikki already attempted to reason with Victoria, warning her not to blindly support Victor's vendetta. Once Nikki learns fake evidence was used against Kane and Billy, she may be disgusted. While she probably won't lose sleep over Phyllis being arrested, Kane's situation is different because Malcolm's life hangs in the balance. Billy's arrest could also deeply upset Nikki since he is the father of Victoria's children, Johnny and Katie. Nikki may fear Victoria could face legal consequences for knowingly providing fraudulent evidence to the district attorney. Even if Nikki doesn't completely cut Victoria out of her life, she may distance herself until Victoria realizes how dangerous her behavior has become. Meanwhile, Lily Winters is expected to explode with anger over Kane's arrest. Lily has every reason to feel betrayed. Victor destroyed Kane's company before framing him, making it difficult to view Victor as anything other than the aggressor in this conflict. During the chaos, Lily may expose Victor's secret promises and manipulations to both Nikki and Victoria. Spoilers reveal Lily is terrified when Kane is taken away in handcuffs. Kane assures her Amanda Sinclair will secure his release in time for the bone marrow donation, but the situation remains extremely risky. Victoria's brothers may also refuse to support her actions. Nick Newman has repeatedly warned Victoria about becoming too much like Victor, and Adam Newman may not support using fake evidence either. Even if neither brother cuts ties with her completely, both could strongly condemn what she's done. Then there are Billy and Victoria's children. Johnny and Katie would likely be devastated to learn their father is being sent to jail because of a scheme involving their mother and grandfather. Billy has little reason to protect Victoria anymore, especially if he discovers she knowingly helped set him up. The fallout may spread even further once Sally Spectra becomes involved. Since Sally is pregnant with Billy's child, she will likely be furious that Victor and Victoria are taking Billy away from his growing family using fabricated evidence. This could create an explosive confrontation between Sally and Victoria in the weeks ahead. Christine Williams Romalotti may also find herself in serious trouble once the truth comes out. Phyllis already warned Christine that the evidence against her was fake, and both Kane and Billy are expected to make the same argument through their attorneys. If Christine knowingly moves forward with false evidence, her legal career could collapse. She could face public humiliation, removal as district attorney, or even disbarment. As for Victoria, the consequences could become even more severe. Because she personally handed the fraudulent evidence to Christine while fully aware it was fake, Victoria herself could eventually face criminal charges. Ironically, the woman trying so hard to protect Newman Enterprises may end up losing her own freedom. The saddest part is that Victor may not even care. Victor has shown repeatedly that his revenge obsession matters more than the well-being of his family. Victoria is risking her relationships, reputation, and possibly her future for a man who may never truly give her the approval she desperately wants. If she continues down this path, Victoria could lose Nate, Claire, Nikki, her siblings, her children's trust, and even her freedom, all while Victor walks away untouched once again. Next update. Matt's shocking memory loss leaves Genoa City on edge. Tuesday's episode of The Young and the Restless delivered major twists as Matt Clark's fate took an unexpected turn, while Victor Newman cut ties with Michael Baldwin over his latest decision. At Phyllis Summers' office, Christine Blair Romalotti arrived alongside a police officer to officially arrest Phyllis. The officer read her rights before escorting her away, leaving Phyllis furious over the humiliating public spectacle. She blasted Christine for arranging the perp walk and insisted the district attorney would look foolish once the evidence against her collapsed. Lauren Fenmore Baldwin appeared just as Phyllis was being taken to the station and immediately promised to contact Michael Baldwin for help. Phyllis doubted it would matter, arguing that Michael had already made his loyalties clear. Still, Lauren later met Michael at Crimson Lights and urged him to defend Phyllis despite the growing complications. Meanwhile, at the Newman Ranch, Michael informed Victor Newman that he had agreed to represent Phyllis. Victor reacted harshly, viewing the move as a personal betrayal. Furious over Michael's siding against Newman interests, Victor ordered him out of the house. Michael later secured Phyllis's release on bail and joined her at Summers' conglomerate with Lauren. During their discussion, they acknowledged Christine appeared determined to destroy Phyllis if the case ended up in court. Elsewhere, Nick Newman opened up to Nikki Newman during a serious conversation at Society. Nick admitted Sienna Bacall claimed responsibility for killing Matt, but he still feared Matt might somehow return until solid proof surfaced. Nick also confessed to struggling with opioid misuse after running out of prescription pain medication and failing to obtain more from his doctor. He revealed the problem became severe enough that Adam Newman noticed his behavior during their time in Las Vegas. Nick further explained that Matt had supplied him with a contaminated batch of drugs. Nikki was horrified after learning how close Nick came to dying. However, Nick reassured her that Sharon Newman had encouraged him to enter a treatment program and that he intended to fully commit to recovery. Although Nick hoped to mend the growing divide between Nikki and Victor, Nikki doubted reconciliation was possible. Later at the ranch, tensions escalated further when Nikki arrived to ride her horse. Despite Nick's efforts to push them toward a conversation, both Victor and Nikki rejected any attempt to repair their fractured marriage. At Sharon's cottage, Noah Newman informed Sharon that Sienna had begun remembering additional details about her confrontation with Matt. Sienna recalled running through the desert while Matt chased her before he pinned her to the ground. Desperate to survive, Sienna grabbed a nearby rock and struck Matt in the head. When he continued moving, she kept hitting him until he finally stopped. After checking for a pulse and finding none, Sienna believed he was dead. Sharon, however, remained skeptical and questioned whether Matt had truly died. She encouraged Sienna to think harder about the exact location so Victor's security team could search for the body. Although Sienna struggled to remember specifics, she eventually recalled spotting what looked like a nearby water park. Sharon and Noah believed that detail could provide an important lead. The memory left Sienna terrified that Matt might still be alive if she had made a mistake, but Noah and Sharon tried to calm her fears. In the episode's final scenes, Matt appeared alive but badly injured at a roadside diner. With a visible head wound, he emptied his pockets onto the table and discovered a keycard for the Genoa City Athletic Club. Confused and disoriented, Matt asked a waitress how far away the club was. After learning he was far from Wisconsin, Matt realized he had no idea who he was or what had happened to him. As the episode closed, he quietly vowed to uncover the truth about his identity and his past. Upcoming spoilers for The Young and the Restless tease that Matt will soon make his return to Genoa City, setting the stage for even more chaos and unanswered questions. For more of the latest updates and behind-the-scenes secrets from Young and the Restless, make sure to hit subscribe and ring that bell. Stay in the know with every new release.